Hello, this is Dr. Jeff Kim, and I had a chance to attend a really cool event sponsored by the API Coalition. It was a gathering of many different elected officials who are Asian American or allies of Asian Americans. So it was really cool to be in that space. I've shared in the past how when I was going through school in my K through 12 education, never having had a teacher that looked like me, and that also includes like administrators, board members, elected officials, and so forth. So to see them all in that one place was really exciting. And then, of course, the welcome that I received really made me feel that kind of belonging as well. So there are four takeaways I took from this gathering. And the first is this idea of representation and how representation matters. And then secondly, if you're wanting to continue to see representation, the leadership capacity that you want to build behind you as well. So if there are opportunities in the future, how are we coaching, supporting other Asian Americans and supporting them in this work as well? I know for myself, I've received a lot of coaching, support, encouragement, and that has taken me very far to where I am today. Now, are we continuing that for others as well? That's the question that they were asking. Second, sometimes there's some specific needs in the community that specifically are addressing Asian Americans. And I know for many folks, they may wonder what exactly are some issues affecting the Asian American community? Because oftentimes there's that stereotype out there like Asian Americans are the model minority. Well, one issue this group is addressing and tackling is the idea of, well, the anti-Asian hate for that matter, the 1,800% increase here in just Orange County alone. That is one issue to tackle. Or perhaps it might be mental health and how Asian Americans are twice as less likely to receive mental health support than any other group in the United States. So, I mean, there are multiple issues that specifically address the needs of Asian Americans, but sometimes can be overlooked because when you look at Asian Americans as a whole, as a monolith, which oftentimes happens because Asian Americans are stereotyped, their specific needs sometimes get lost as well. A third item on the agenda that they talked about, a win for the group, was incorporating Asian American studies in the ethnic studies curriculum. So once again, I've talked on the Ed Family channel in the past about it's how important it is for students to know their story and tell their story. But what if they don't know their own story, right? So because Asian American Studies is within the Ethnic Studies curriculum, that's how actually I've been able to even create the Korean American Studies course as well, because I'm building my lessons off of the Model Ethnic Studies curriculum for Korean American Studies. So without that, it'd be very difficult to build the curriculum off of. So I'm appreciative of the legislative effort to incorporate ethnic studies and Asian American studies within the curriculum. And then finally, and this is something Evan Lowe shared that I thought was also so important. He is the head of the API caucus, legislative caucus here in California. And he mentioned where the next step could be for Asian Americans is to grow in our intersectionality with other groups. And not to say that that's not happening, but just to continue to grow in that as well. I know when we saw that surge in anti-Asian racism, one of the first people to reach out to me was my black friend, right? So he reached out to me and said, hey Jeff, is everything okay? And when I saw that surge in anti-Asian racism happening, and I didn't know how to process that, but when he asked me that question, hey, are you okay? That meant so much to me. And so if there are spaces for us to go to these other groups, like maybe it's the Hispanic Latino caucus or the Black caucus, going to those spaces and representing in those places while saying, hey, we stand with you on these issues, that can be very powerful as well and shows that intersectionality. And as we are in Black History Month, I'm reminded once again of the shoulders that we stand on, the many, many Americans, including Black Americans, who led the work with the Civil Rights Movement that paved the way for so many, including a Korean American like myself. So those are some great 4 things that I learned from the API caucus. So glad I had the opportunity to attend, glad I was invited.